Meantime, the Democratic Party is playing catch up for cash after donations dropped off, and I mean really dropped off in November. Recent federal filings showing the committee has just $12 million on hand for upcoming elections and is nearly $16 million in debt. Let's bring in Angie Wong, Miami GOP Executive Committee woman, and Julian Epstein, Democratic strategist. All right, Julian, going to begin with you. I know cash is king in some circumstances, but I do think sometimes it's overemphasized. I can count a myriad of stories where they said candidate so-and-so has way more in cash and then they lose anyway. But this would seem to be a horse of a different color. You got to have some money, and $16 million in debt and $12 million on hand is not a good place to be.
No, those numbers are bad, and these are canaries in the coal mine. They're consistent with other canaries in the coal mine. The numbers are bad nationally. The generic approval numbers for the midterms are not good. The general approval numbers of congressional Democrats and the party itself are not good. And that's because, Kevin, we've talked about this a great deal. Democrats keep going down sort of the same rabbit hole. They think that the welfare state and identity politics are the answer to everything, and that's not where the voters are. And until they break away from that, their fundraising numbers and their approval numbers are going to continue to be way below where they ought to be.
Yeah, and this is a real problem, Angie, because I think if they have any inclination on winning, not even getting into 2028, but to be well positioned for 2026, they've got to do something, and I mean do it fast. Are you surprised at the fate right now for the Democrats, and what, if anything, should they be doing?
Well, I'm not surprised, but now that we see the data, we see that even after all the November wins and the special election wins that they've had recently, their donors still don't trust that they have a winning strategy for 26, the midterms, and also 2028. So these are great numbers for the GOP, because if they don't have a winning strategy and going into the midterms, you're seeing various states having primaries on the Democrat side, Maryland, Connecticut, California. They're going to spend all their money and energy fighting each other because you have a split between the progressive left and also the establishment left. Right. And they're going to keep going at it. Now, that's going to split more donor money and also all the energy of the DNC. So as a GOP member, we're very happy to see all this. Yeah,
imagine you are. I think Angie makes a really astute point, Julian. If you have the progressive left that's really driving the conversation of the party, I think that could be financially problematic, especially, it seems to me, midterms are usually okay, but when you get closer to the general, you have to be able to win the moderate middle, do you not?
Yes, Kevin. Again, we've talked about this, you and I, a number of times. 70% of American voters are moderate or conservative. Progressives probably represent somewhere between 10 and 20% of voters, yet they are the people that have sort of hijacked the Democratic Party. And so when I say that the welfare state and identity politics are the answer to everything, that's the progressive liturgy. That's the progressive belief. Democrats have a real opportunity if the centrists could just step up on healthcare, for example, where there's a lot of affordability anxiety. There's just not enough competition in the system. The welfare state approach that is embodied in Obamacare is not working in terms of controlling costs. Same with housing. There's a huge opportunity for centrists to sort of seize the mantle right now and say, hey, there is a deregulatory framework which could explode the production of new housing, which is what we need to lower housing costs. Right. But Democrats don't do that. They default again back to the welfare state, overspending, and back to the regulatory state. And that is not meeting voters where they are.
30 seconds left, Angie. It would seem to me that the GOP is sort of salivating at the opportunity here, but you don't want to get cocky, because there's one thing to be for President Trump. He's extremely popular, but the GOP has to do more and offer more than that, do they not?
Well, whoever wins the messaging on affordability is going to win the midterms. And right now, I don't believe that Democrats are really pushing that message in a way that is authentic. So I think President Trump is trying to seize on that, calling himself the affordability president, and also naming Scott Bessent the affordability czar. So I think that's going to play out very, very well for us. Also, Quinnipiac has the Democrats at 18% of favorability. So hopefully that stays.
Listen, I think 2026 is going to be a strong economic year, barring any unusual circumstances. And if that's the case, that would certainly seem to bode very well for the GOP. We'll all be watching carefully together. Julian and Angie, thank you for your time today. Merry Christmas to you both.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.